What they celebrate, called Cadre deployment, whatever, what it has done, it has changed a situation where every DG was a white male in 1994. It has changed the reality where every judge was a white male, where every mayor was a white male. The Cadre development has changed that reality. So, run to court, do everything, but the reality of the matter is, we will do it. You will get your report, but we'll continue deploying people who are capable. That's it.
You hear them, don't you? They stand on platforms, chests puffed out, boasting about this Cadre deployment as if it's some glorious achievement, a beacon of progress. They'll tell you, with a straight face, that it has changed the situation where every DG was a white male in 1994. They'll rattle off statistics, crowing about how it changed the reality where every judge was a white male, where every mayor was a white male. And then, with a smug grin, they declare, Cadre deployment has changed that reality. Changed it. Changed it for whom? Let's be crystal clear about what this Cadre deployment truly is, because they won't define it for you, not honestly. Cadre deployment, in its most insidious and destructive form, is simply this, the hiring of politically connected individuals into government's high positions. It is the systematic infiltration of state institutions, not by the best and the brightest, but by the loyal and the connected. It is a cancer, eating away at the very fabric of our democracy, all under the guise of transformation. They talk about 1994 as if it's the only point of reference. Yes, 1994 was a watershed moment. Yes, we needed to address the grotesque imbalances of apartheid. But what they have done, what they continue to do with this so-called Cadre deployment, is not transformation, it is a perversion of justice. It is a betrayal of the very people they claim to represent. Because here's the dirty little secret they don't want you to know, the inconvenient truth that shatters their carefully constructed narrative. Oftentimes, qualifications and experience are not a requirement for these high positions. Think about that for a moment. In a nation grappling with unemployment, poverty, and a collapsing infrastructure, the people entrusted with running our country, with delivering essential services, are chosen not for their expertise, but for their political allegiance. We've seen it time and time again. We've witnessed the blatant cronyism, the nepotism, the utter disregard for merit. Look no further than the infamous example of Gwede's son, amongst countless others. Here we have a powerful minister, and suddenly, his son lands a lucrative, high-level position. What were the qualifications? What was the experience? Was there a rigorous, transparent selection process? Or was it simply a matter of who you know, and more importantly, who your father is? This isn't an isolated incident, it's a symptom of a systemic disease that has infected every corner of our government. And what has this insidious practice done to our state institutions? The damage is catastrophic. It has crippled our parastatals, decimated our municipalities, and undermined the very foundations of good governance. Look at Eskom. The lights go out, businesses close, lives are disrupted, all because years of Cadre deployment have hollowed out the once proud utility. Experts replaced by loyalists, engineers sidelined by political appointees, procurement processes rigged for personal gain. The result: a once functional power provider brought to its knees, unable to keep the lights on in a developing nation. Or how about PROSA? Billions of rand siphoned off, trains that don't run, vital infrastructure crumbling. Why? Because the people at the helm were not there to serve the public, they were there to serve their political masters and their own pockets. The same story plays out in our municipalities, where basic service delivery collapses under the weight of incompetent, politically appointed officials. Our roads are riddled with potholes, our water systems are failing, and our communities are left to rot, all while the Cadres feast at the trough of state resources. Our state-owned enterprises, once the pride of the nation, are now bleeding financial losses, requiring constant bailouts that come directly from your tax money. Money that could be building schools, providing healthcare, creating jobs. Instead, it's propping up the failed experiments of Cadre deployment. This isn't just about economic mismanagement, it's about a complete and utter breakdown of accountability, professionalism, and ethical leadership. And what is their response when you dare to question this grand transformation project? What do they say when the evidence of corruption and incompetence stares them in the face? They sneer, they dismiss, they retort, run to court, do everything. But the reality of the matter is we will do it. You will get your report, but we'll continue deploying people who are capable. Capable. Capable of what? Capable of bringing our country to its knees. Capable of enriching themselves and their cronies while the majority suffer. Capable of eroding public trust to the point where faith in our institutions is at an all-time low. This isn't about capability, it's about control. It's about maintaining power at all costs, even if it means sacrificing the future of this nation. They believe they are above the law, above accountability, above the will of the people. They believe that their political agenda trumps expertise, integrity, and the fundamental principles of good governance. But we, the citizens, are not fooled. We see through the rhetoric. We feel the consequences of their arrogance every single day. We demand an end to this destructive practice. We demand a return to meritocracy, to accountability, to a government that serves its people, not its party. It is time to hold them accountable. It is time to dismantle this corrupt system of Cadre deployment. It is time to demand that positions of power are filled by those who are truly capable, those who are qualified, and most importantly, those who are committed to serving all South Africans, not just a select few.